Good morning, Year 3. So today I'm going to go over with you just how you're going to form your diary entry in the role of Thomas about when he's just about to tell his friends about Flickr the night before. Fab. So there are a few things that we've got to remember when we're writing a diary entry. The first being that we always start off with Dear Diary. If you do not start off with Dear Diary, it's not technically a diary entry. So you need to make sure at the start you write Dear, we've got a capital letter because it's at the start, and then diary is also going to be a capital letter too. After you've written Dear Diary, you need to have a comma, and then you are going to start on the next line. Don't continue on. We need to start underneath. It's really important that we get used to setting it out perfectly. So we start with Dear Diary. The next thing to remember is that you're always going to be using first person. Now, first person is when you use me, I, my, we, our, because for today you are Thomas, you are pretending to be him. So it didn't happen to Thomas, it's happening to you. You have to get into his mindset and think, how would I feel if I was just about to tell my friends that I've got a dragon? So it's all about you. You need to be using those my, we, me, I, our. So that is something really important that you need to use. Also, when writing a diary entry, you need to make sure that you are using time adverbials because we are going through a series of different things. It's as if you've just got in from school and you're telling your grown-up at home everything that's happened with your day. You'd say, well, we did this, after that, then suddenly it was dinner time. So you need to make sure that you use some time adverbials. Now, for those of you that watched our very, very catchy tune last week, we know that after time adverbials, you must use a comma. If you've not watched it, check out that video, Year 3 time adverbials. But you need to remember that after a time adverbial, you put a comma. See if you can find some really interesting time adverbials to use a few moments later, early in the morning, different ones, not just then and next. We'd love to see a range of different time adverbials. Another thing to remember is that it's got to be set in the past tense. This has already happened to you. So we won't say, I am feeling really worried about telling my friends, because it's already happened. You need to convert what you're thinking into the past. So in spelling, we've spoken about this earlier in the year, with a lot of verbs doing words, if you add ed to the end of a verb, it makes it past tense. So I walked to the shop, I walked to the shop. We're making it past tense because you are recalling what has already happened. Now within your diary entry, we'd really like to see all the usuals, lots of adjectives, be really descriptive. I want to read your diary entries and imagine that I am there. I can shut my eyes and just imagine what your face is doing, how you're feeling, everything. Lots of conjunctions so that our sentences aren't always short, but remember not to use too many. And it'd be nice to use different kinds of punctuation. You might want to ask a question. Oh, what am I going to do? He might be a little bit worried about telling his friends, so he might be asking himself a few questions here and there. You might use an exclamation mark to show a really big feeling, but always remember your capital letters and full stops. Okay? Once you've got all of your information down, which I'll talk to you about in a minute, at the very, very end, I'm not going to write, love Miss Grady. I need to say, love from Thomas. Because remember, you are Thomas. Okay. Now, we're going to have a look at your success criteria to really concentrate on what needs to go in your main body of things. So if we have a look, we've already talked about first person. You need to remember to be using first person all the way through. Next, it says identify Thomas's emotions. It might be worth just listening back to that chapter again just before he's telling his friends You could write down some of the emotions that you might be feeling if this was you, and think about why is he feeling those emotions. Putting the events in chronological order. That is a really important one, and using time adverbials will help you do so. Oh, I always do this, don't I? There we go. And at the bottom, use a range of conjunctions. Have a think to yourself now, what are conjunctions? They join words, sentences together. Things like and, but, because, however. There is so many conjunctions that you can use, and you've been using them all year. So you need to make sure that as you are going through, you are including these specific things in your diary entry. Okay, these over here are the features of a diary entry that I've written on. Make sure you start with Dear Diary and you're finishing with Love from Thomas. But we're really excited for you to really get your teeth into this and have a good go at writing a diary entry. We can't wait to see what you've come up with.